dwellings in Islam. Okay. Let's continue in our saga. So we got Morocco Ale, the lunar sun called Makuka Ale by Dangleria, held the sway over men who were still in Ceuta. Remember, Ceuta supposed to be in North Africa. One of the first requested from Rome the title of Lord of Ceuta, um, in order to show her sway over the American products coming in to the Iberian Peninsula. So we know this American Ceuta. We say Ceuta and Canua. Canuau. It's in Brazil. Or I think Brazil or Peru. And kept them confined to the caves. This indicates a lunar dominion over mankind somewhere in a state of confinement. Perhaps in South America and Peru, caves are also the first dwellings of mankind. But I think this Canua is off the coast of Brazil, so they didn't even take the time to look that up. The first man, like Adam, was son of the earth, and an El, or angel, Elohim of the Orientals. It, it means in Haitian, son, offspring, family, and tribe. It also often recurs in subsequent history in the singular for the plural. The plurals were Eli, Eli, Guali, Gua, and only the article this or such. This Eli, Guali. So we can see that in this language. In these languages, we can see the Moorish influences in these kingdoms, especially when you look up the histories. You're gonna see this the Cabo de Bojador of the Christians. It's the Bay of Carthage. It's also, when you go back further, Phoenicians. Like the author say he believe a lot of these kingdoms spread throughout the world and create the kingdoms that we now know as Phoenicia and Carthage. In reverse. You got Montezuma. You can see how he had his robes and garments. We got Tlacael El. Even terms like Itzaquatel, the L part still got the E, R vowel, Al, between that T and L, phonetically. Don't let them fool you. See his mama, Kaka, Maki, Guatel. Tlacael. The name Shok, Himilko. And again, they'll tell you stuff like come from the Natal. That means flower field. Always giving you these meanings themselves. But we can see, we take off the shock part. We got left with Himiko. Now remember, Himiko was one of the navigators we talked about that they claim went down the coast of Africa, and we claim came to these parts. This navigator. Shock Himiko. Himiko. And the Milko part is like Malik. A Melkart. We see one of the ferries, and you see these ferries is like how the Carthaginian kingdoms always was. You had the Moors, like in Venetia, and all over America. You see this. They have the ferry rides. And you see this one say Belem, which is Carthaginian Moabite. And you see the mayors, the mayoralities is called alcaldias, that we talked about 2 videos ago. Barrios, the day, barrows. So you know your borough used to be alcaldias during the times of Moorish rule of Spain. So on the fourth and final voyage of the New World, 1502, Christopher Columbus landed near the modern town of Trujillo, near Guaymoreto Lagoon, becoming the first European to visit the Bay Islands of the coast of Honduras. Will be important later. On the 30th of July, 1502, Columbus and his brother Bartholomew to explore the islands, and Bartholomew encountered a Mayan trading vessel from Yucatan. So he ran up on a vessel or the ship from the Mayans. See, I saying how they put these things in history, but it's an anomaly because we ever heard of Indian shipping yards and shipbuilding and sea travels, carrying well-dressed Mayans and rich cargo. Bartholomew men stole the cargo they wanted and kidnapped the ship's Italy captain to serve as an interpreter in the first recorded encounter between the Spaniards and Mayans. So, of course, they always do some treacherous shit. Can't just go be friendly, huh? It was not until the end of the 16th century that Honduras was used for the whole province. Prior to 1580, Honduras referred to only the eastern part of the province, and Higueras referred to the western part because they already had conquered that part. And basically from the term Higueras, that tells you they conquered Moors. Another early name was Guaymuras, revived as the name for the political dialogue in 2009. Honduras is often referred to as Catractual, which remind me of, again, Cartago, Catraco. Cartago is Latin for Carthage. But since we're in the West, our Latin will be slightly different from the Latin at Rome, Italy. The word was coined by Nicaraguans and derived from the last name of the Spanish Honduran general Florencio Chactru. So they, again, always gonna define things for you, so you won't get the real definitions from. Just like a look at that, see, that's another version of Cartago. We got Kataski. We got Cartagena. All these are versions. So we can see, as we see in the last video, we read this version that they don't have an English version of. They skipped the English version of this wiki page. And the reason why, because it's supposed to be talking about the government of La Palma and Tenerife, which is supposed to be in the Canary Islands, but we put in South America, which would make sense that he had people in Honduras as government, because they all been on the side of the Atlantic. Stop playing. Translated, basically the same thing. And he filed lawsuits. Sister Luisa de Lugo. You don't remember, like I always say this, Lugo is the original Columbus. Columbus come behind him and register what he conquered. All got vassalage off. But no, when they say Tenerife and La Palma, they're talking about America. That's how they hide it. Some participation in the conquest of the La Palma and Tenerife in 1493. And remember, we talk about the Ponchas been in South America. Now they talking about the Grouches. So you can see how they just changed one letter to it, being lazy, and just put the people of the Canary Islands as the Grouches and the people of the old Canary Islands as the Ponchas, which we call Colombia, Quito kingdoms, the mountains of Bracamoros, and parts of Panama, stuff like that. So we get the names Lanzarote and Fuerteventura and Esperanza de la Casa and Herrera, which we see on our research map in America. And Pedro Fernandez de Lugo, you see, and Hidalgo and Conquistador of Castellano. He supposedly conquered the island of the Canaries and La Palma and Tenerife. They look, Santa Marta, which we find, allegedly died in Santa Marta, which we find in Colombia. Oh, that's Venezuela 1 and 2. Check that out. Pretty much probably got a Santa Marta on those islands today over there to make this story pan out. And they definitely got one in Spain, one in Cuba. But that's the one where I believe he governed. You see, it's a port, of course. A port of interest. Look at that, Alcazares. The stories dealing with the Moors of the Valley of the Alcazares. Are we supposed to believe this Lugo conquest happened in the Canary Islands overseas? So not only we dealing with just basically the kingdom of Morocco and Fez and stuff like that, apparently getting pushed to the other side of the Atlantic. We're dealing with the Canaries, the Azores, and down near every island over there. You see, this the Senegal. we see in the last video, his expedition into Barbary is going down here to Quito and all these mountains. You see a Trujillo right there. Also got a Trujillo up here. You see San Cristobal right there. But even on the Spanish page, they say the coast of Bavaria and the New World, because expeditions to the coast of the Barbary and the New World. So we're supposed to believe he going back and forth like that. Instead of just put it all in one land mass, which will make more sense. They got him hopping around the world like he been on a super ship. Hernandez Peraza. These are important names to know. He the one who with the islands of La Gomera and Herrero, both being over. We got Beatrice de Boabdila in Uola. All these, I believe, is the creditors over here that they hook up with Spain and lead up to Columbus, lead up to Tierra Firme. They all lose their estates after the Columbus registration. You see Medina del Campo. They always had a campo because they always been at war with Moors, so they have a bunch of place names called camps. And just like in North America, they got their place names they call we'll get to that another time. But it's a name for that. This means camp. We got the Butata Kingdom. These conquests is the Kingdom of Butata on the Canary Islands, allegedly. Capital of Tegels, of the Benemarines. Came under the Crown of Castile in 1499. And we got the split up of the island of Galdar and Telde. But it's supposed to be the history of the Gaunches. We showing you that it most likely been the history of the Pounches story. Gran Canaria. And you can get an Arabic version of this history too, to cross references, because it's in Moorish history. But even in that history, it's presumed to be the Canary Islands. So that's how lost we is in this thing. The Guana term. So you still got the term guana showing up over there in the Canaries. They got an English version of him, so we can see. They say on this one, they don't say New World. They just say Barbary in the coast of Africa. On the Spanish version, they say Barbary in the New World. And Battle of Arguer. The native from Tenerife called the Gauchos. Remember on the last two videos ago we saw this expedition against the Pounches. And they got some of the same terms and stuff being used. See San Cristobal, the Battle of San Cristobal, and we see that right of the Laguna. So these the Pounches. We're supposed to believe the Gauchos is a whole different group of people on the other side, even though they just damn near sound the same. Pounches and Gauchos just changed the P and the G. And it's the Laguna. Let me see. They say the San Cristobal of the Laguna. Look at that Guayabo. Ayo Guayabo. We just see one of the tribes called Guaya something. A lot of lagoons in this area. The Black Lagoon. That's what I think they're talking about. As you can see, it's a couple of that. Spell like that. And remember, this is the old Cabo de Aguirre. So we can look at, this is a plaza of, I believe, Peru. The plaza. As you can see how it looks. You see people with turbans on selling, buying and selling everywhere. You know, cattle herder. Some visuals. Let me see, yeah, it's Lima, Peru. And this is Panama area, the Nicaragua. Pay attention to look at the rooftop, how they did the rooftop, even in this small house. Still just like this Andalusians. Yeah, that's the Nazo tribe. they spell them. Nicaragua, Ragua, the region of the blacks. And we went through this already in the last video. Let's see it again, the House of the Flowers. They define things for you. We see in Shoki Melko, again it showed that he most likely is the Carthaginian navigator name. You got the pyramid with the sun, definitely Carthaginian in origin. And the architecture, definitely Moorish, kind of sort of like Norman, but all that's Carthaginian. You go back to the ancient world. We already gonna do this, so let's continue where we stopped. And again, we've been called muladis in the books because we spoke Latin, but we've been Moors. And Rome used to call the Moors from over here the women Amazons on the Amazon River. It's called Tribe of America. You can see how they dress in his depiction. Seems to find silk in the gold, known as the great kings of Guinea, from pole to pole. And you talk about the American continent, because the gold coin, but call it guanin. That's how much the term Guinea got associated with gold. You see these old tobacco products, how you get changed two black boys. So you can see how you're going from Moor to black, to Indian, to black. And black or Moors, head and wrapping. The black boy. The Loba and the Negra makes a Chino, which is interesting because if they had a daughter, that would have been a China. Masculine Chino, or Kino, and feminine Kina, or China, as we see today. It would have been spelled with an A instead of O. That's interesting. You see, you got this leopard skin, you got this red cape, and you got these belts that they say the wrap that go around the waist. They put the sword. It's supposedly French, supposedly. And we talk about this, how they say the Indian with his dart and bow. So you can see how stuff get mixed up. Now all they did was reverse the same picture from one way to the other. You can tell it's the same picture, a little, or maybe redrawn. It'll typically look a little different, slightly different. redrawn. Yeah, but recaptured also. On this, he's the Indian. On this, he's then Moor. Just to show up, he'll be talking about the same people using different terms. And as Moors, we got the understanding that under the term black, Indian, Negro, African American, you're still talking about me and my history. You just calling them something different than what I calling it. But these other groups you see on the internet, YouTube, really believe we talking about different people. When they say they ain't no more, what you talking about? What context you putting that in? Because we telling you this the same as this person called something different. That means he ain't no Indian or he ain't no more. He both. He just called something different by different people. Depends on who you call yourself. That's the only thing that really matter. So we got the case of everybody getting this face in history. I thought I seen this face. Everybody got this face. I mean, this face like 10 different characters got the same damn face. So this is supposed to be Felipe II, one of the most important in history, American history at that. Felipe II. It's another version of him. Another version. And this is not another version, but he got the same face as this motherfucker. And it's supposed to be the converted Moorish Habit. Now, what crazy about this is they also get the name Felipe. Like we saw earlier in the last video, they give him the name Felipe once they get converted. And he's supposed to be a more subverted Moorish Habit into Felipe. Which is crazy because he one who subvert, he convert him. He convert him. Now the motherfuckers looking like I guess when they convert them they give them their face too, who knows. But this is supposed to be him. And as you can see, he decorated. And he got Prince Felipe of Austria, the Morocco Kingdom. It's the son of the Moroccan Kingdom. So he get converted of the Kingdom of Morocco. So that's why I believe in according to our history, he been the ambassador of Brazil for Castile at that time. The Brazil in America, known as Morocco, Marruecos, for Austria, which is Castile and Leon. So he basically converted but in our modern history, he's supposed to be dealing with Morocco, Moorish Habit. But we see him in American history right here, Felipe II. We don't supposed to believe he is because we don't got the evidence that suggests that we got the evidence, but the modern popular history of the world don't got nothing to show you that. So we gotta show you. So this he Delago, like they say in this page that he been. And we seeing what the more, I guess, a servant. What we do see is they always got that bird, that parrot. And I believe because he is an American. Let's look at some more pens because he penned 1,000 words. I see the long musket. The Moors were known for having the long musket, right? The long musket with the band with the sword in it. The ropes with the hoods. Which was basically where we get our hoodies from. We just make it a different form. And you see they always Rukunde. Rikendi, they always got the smoking tobaccos too. Another one, long musket. We got the maroons up there, so same long musket. And it's Bengali, yeah. And they call them Coolie, Muslim, all Moros. As you can see, that tradition. You see them what they saying, wrap, hoodie, hooded robes. The East India, Muslim. So as we go, we in South America. These nobles, you see that guitar all over the Moorish Empire, Andalusia, definitely Morocco. We see in Brazil, they got the same thing. They carry the stuff on their head like that. They got an instrument, a bow and arrow. But they won't call them Brazilian slaves. That's how they want to capture that. You see, draw many more different styles that they find of people. This one is interesting right here. We're gonna see this later. You see again holding the parrot. And instead here we see the lady holding one, the East India. This right here, the sun symbol, which is the star. If you find these tribes in the hard ass areas, the people put up a dress like this in the summer. Put on a big ass coat or robe when it get cold. Anytime they can let these people are uncivilized. And she King Philip. Baptized as King Philip. I tell you, all these Moors who get converted get the name Felipe. We see he got his belt, also wrapped with a sword in it. And again, the long musket of the Moors. And no different in North America. Start playing some more caste systems. You see they got the Moor at the top of this one. With the India. Oh, you got the Espanol with the India. They got the top of this caste system. Oh, you got the Mora with the India. You see they put the Chichimecos in the middle. See that red band on this waist? And they call her the India on these things. Call her the Mora or Negro. Negra. They call him the Moro or Negro. And I guess when you get down here, it's just saying people they just poor. So that's a caste system, but this one mostly based off. You can tell by status more than complexion, because you got some at the top dark as hell, and at the bottom also dark as hell. So this particular caste system, a lot of the times you've been governing, or the brotherhood of the Negroes would govern some of the Christian colonies, and in those colonies they would have reversed the caste system if we deal with color sometimes, but they don't tell you those stories. Especially in Venezuela at first, they had to reconstruct Venezuela because Mo's been basically doing the caste system thing and reversed on it to the people under the term blacks. They still be writing those shit, mayors and shit. We got more. What they say on this one? Espanol interna. So she's supposed to be an interna. Wherever that is, they have so much different ridiculous caste names. Some more people they put in the caste system, basically losing their status. You see, you got the cross on his neck. I think that's Peru. You see, the Kino and a Kumbuya, Kambuya, Kambuyo. The India makes a loba. So they call it a daughter a loba. They call it Chino. They call her India. That's why I keep trying to tell people, the term Indian, India, Indios, male, India, female, doesn't make you from here. That's just a caste system term they use to call certain people. Let me see all these people from here on this. Different statuses and different titles and terms based off which kingdom that run that colony. And we can tell these Christian kingdoms, these Moorish kingdoms that been made Christian kingdoms from conquest, like they say. So a Lobo and a Negra makes a Chino. That's a Chino. When I say that's a Chino, I'm just telling you based off of our research right now, we talking about right now, about all these people Moors to me. Moors and Christians, Moros, Cristianos. So this one, see, India and Negro, Loba, the daughter. Look how he dressed though. He here, and he been here since time immemorial, just like the Chichimecas. The Chichimecas decided to dress their way, and he decided to dress like this. It's that simple. Negro and Española mix a mulatto. So they talk about the Tartessos in this book. It's a good book to get ancient history of America. We got more pictures of Americans Moorish Americans. Right, this one, Argentina. You would think this is Morocco. You see the Moors in the back playing the music, watching the Mamluka. Argentina shit. So as we see in this museum, the museum architecture and all, it's Moorish. Brazil. Catch a lot of these in North America and South America inside the church or inside the museum. You just look at it. She probably kick ass. That's why they had to put a placard. Should I say? Can't see that. Martinique. Look in the water. Look, you've been in palanquins. The palanquins, ones who to come grab you in the palanquin. Let's go. It's been a taxi at all times. You see, you got a noble right there who, like he governing the place. Probably the Alkid. So this look like here. These pictures show up in the museums. You gotta go to the museums and catch them. You can see that they got them little figurines showing who been the ones they working in gold mines. The pork knockers. Pork knockers are miners where though people of African origin have been proven to be mosaic for such work. When you look at, they make a little bunch of figures. You know, see the Moors in it. So you see them with painting to their customs in America. I just been wanting to know where they get these souls to be slaves, or where they get the fine silk and gold and all that melted, minted. If they ain't already the ones who used to mint the gold coins for Europe in old days when the Moors ruled Europe. You see, that's the Colombo that they call them in Palmeiras. And you got the so-called black Christians, which is the Nazarenos we see in the old days. From the kingdoms, the old kingdoms of One and the Indias. Those are Christian kingdoms of Ethiopia. So we're gonna forget we in Africa. It's the Museum of Afro-Brazil. It's the Museum of Sao Paulo. They got these paintings in that museum. Let me see those paintings. In that same museum, we got some more Moorish Americans. Untold stories hidden. All white. Chichi Mekos. Just to show you got people who like those, and you got people Like this over here. Fuck. Generals and shit. And all these is in the Afro Museum. San Paulo. And this book right here of Andalusia, remember I say watch out for them little gowns that they had on that little shit. Cause they showing you the Indians. But this in Andalusia. Allegedly bring them to Andalusia, but we can see these same things, these cloths and stuff on the natives of Andalusia. Supposedly ain't get brainy. From America, they still got the same type of shit. Some more, remember we see the man with the parrot and this right here too. Here's another one who had the red to green version of this. We got a red, white, and blue one. You see, these paintings considered Moorish. But for all they can see, they all look like a nano walkie. So this could be Granny Nanny, man, of Haiti, for all we know. Look at that. All look like us. Typical Moorish paintings. Don't let the Orientalists fool you. They put everything in the East. That's what Orientalist means. Easternized things. You see this more right here. He got him a captive. He trying to sell him a captive. I can't do nothing. This little motherfucker. Sell his ass off. That's how history was. We gotta realize the truth. It's definitely us in Africa. We can see the Moorish architecture, the similarity. Got the gold, so you already know they know about the Americas already. Similar dress, similar cultures. You try to tell people a Moorish Empire encompassed the entire continent of Africa, not just Morocco and North Africa, and the entire continent of America. These fine stitches you can find these same type of quote type designs in Mexico, Peru, Brazil. Exact same. That tower I was talking about, South Carolina, you can tell they cut the top off the one in South Carolina. They only got this part, the bottom part. And they do call it Moorish style. Put your worth 1,000 words. You can tell he a merchant. He got his products. See, the belt with the sword, and then after a while you start putting that long rifle on that boy, that bad boy. But you got that fine silk. And you know, that's the cap. that they say the Normans or the Tartars had. The headdress, but he definitely got the fine silk. Look like the ones from China. And I also look at the walls behind them, because you can find these walls like that all over South America too. You don't know where these pins at. He's a little candy more, he's smoking. But again, he got that wrap around his waist. He got this long rifle. And you can watch them slippers through them so-called moccasins or Moroccans. And he part of the Red Keep gang. Which a Red Keep gang member always is a Moroccan or Moabite. Or a child of God. Red Keep gang. Got this long rifle down there too. Alright, Biden can't tell me, or somebody who know they Moors, anything about gun rights and registration. That's absurd for a Christian to tell or more anything about some damn gun rights. You crazy? Out of your mind. I won't even be in a different lane when it comes to this type of thing. You see, he got his tomahawk too, and he got his long tobacco pipe. All those things we see in the Native American pictures also. That's why he's showing you these. And I also showing you that it looks just like your granddaddy and grandmama. Also the all white robes or the red robe. Same styles. You just keep an eye on these styles. You can see that ain't even really changed from today. You have all white parties today in North America because of that. You remember those days. Even a bunch of y'all, they were all white on. And that being banned on the Christian colonies because of that. You couldn't even wear light colors because of that. All these people look like North Americans to me. Got this red band. And I like how he got his hoodie stuff too, like most likely like our hoodie of the day. So Pernambuco, a scene in Pernambuco. And that's the reason why they call it West Africa. Cookout around this motherfucker. See, I want this red cape. And this why it really make me believe it's America, because every time they put these fruits and stuff like that on the picture, it's to represent the abundance of America. And you see him with his parrots. Another clue that this could be in the tropics of America, with his band and his pistols and that thing. Always gonna have a pistol. You can't tell him more. You can't have no damn pistol. You crazy. This ain't what you calling me, like blind and dead in my mind. I don't know who I is. Then yeah, you can tell me whatever. Got two more. You got the one. You got these fishbowl nobles. You got this one with an astrolabe. Now you got an astrolabe. That means he know about the world trade and travels. Probably teaching one of them about nigga that the world is round, motherfucker. And slip Marcus. Like he got his. He got his gators. When we start to see Maoris, pay Maoris, which means more. So we can see where they get that from. Also got his red wrap around his waist with his pistol and stuff in it. This motherfucker been centuries ahead of the other motherfuckers in his time period. Got some children. And another mark of the Moor, you see him with that right there earring, that round ring earring. You see Moors with that. They like to show that on the Pirates of the Caribbean. They like to show that on that Entity of Americans. You see that. Shit, excuse me. Some more typical Moors. Look just like your aunt. Another parrot. And also the pearl earring too, also. Sure. Allegory of being Moorish. He definitely on fine silk. And this one, John. Yeah, man, definitely got his red cape of the Moroccan. And he got his fine silk. They call him some more, which I believe they're dealing with as a Moor in a different form. With some more river and Brazil. So again, then I got this name and he said De Samora. It makes sense that he may be from the Samora River, that area. So let's continue to the next one. Don't make it too long.